Hello, welcome to our third class. In this class, we're going to talk about the grammar section in section G. So just as a reminder, we are using book A, which is the student textbook. It's blue. We're in lesson 1 on section G. And the answer keys are all in the red book, book B. So to get started, I'm also going to remind you that on page 2 in your student book, it gives you the audio recordings, the link to the audio recordings. So make sure you're using those and working through the lessons with the audio recordings. Also, in your red book, book B, it has the answer key. Make sure that every single section you're checking your answers. That's really, really important. Today we're going to be working through section G. I'm going to use the Zoccoli textbook today for right now, but the answers to the Dahuki text are in your book B. So for starters, I'll just read the story in English. Every lesson in this book has a story in it that we use to work through the grammar, and it also introduces some Kurdish culture. So here we go. Page 11 in your blue textbook. The story of two goat kids. Once upon a time, Mama Goat lived with her twin kids named Zang and Bang. During the days, Mama Goat left the kids at home while she grazed in the big meadow, and in the evening she would come back home to give them their supper of fresh, warm milk. When Mama Goat came home each day, she would stand in front of the house and say this little chant. Zang dear, Bang dear, open the door for your mama. I've been to the meadow, I've grazed, and now you shall have your supper. When Zang and Bang heard Mama Goat's homecoming chant, they would cheerfully open the door to greet her, and wagging their tails, as only little goats can do, they would hungrily drink their supper. One day Wolf listened as Mama Goat chanted to her kids upon her return from the meadow. Thinking that the twin goats would make him a tasty dinner, Wolf waited until Mama's goat left for the meadow the next morning. Then he stood in front of the door of the goat's home and called out, Zang dear, Bang dear, open the door for your mama. I've been to the meadow, I've grazed, and now you shall have your supper. Just going to double check that this is all working out the way it's supposed to. Okay, Zang and Bang listened carefully, then called back, Go away, you're not our mama. We're not going to open the door for you. Our mama's voice is pretty and light. Yours is rough and heavy. Shoo! Wolf left but returned after a while to try again. But this time he changed his voice to sound more like Mama Goat. Zang dear, Bang dear, open the door for your mama. I've been to the meadow, I've grazed, and now you shall have your supper. Zang and Bang listened carefully, then looked through the peephole and called back, Go away, you're not our mama. We're not going to open the door for you. Our mama's fur is white, and yours is black. Shoo! Wolf left, but came back after a while with his black fur dusted white with flour. Then he said, Zang dear, Bang dear, open the door for your mama. I've been to the meadow, I've grazed, and now you shall have your supper. Zang and Bang listened carefully, looked through the peephole, and then they opened the door. Wolf grabbed them quickly and swallowed them whole. Then he went back to his own home. When Mama Goat returned from the meadow, she saw the door of her house standing wide open with no one inside. She knew instinctively what had happened, so she sharpened her horns and marched determinedly to Wolf's house. Wolf bared his teeth when he saw Mama Goat and challenged her to a fight. Mama Goat charged Wolf and ripped his stomach open with her sharp horns. Zang and Bang jumped out of Wolf's stomach unharmed. And just where have you two been all this time? Mama Goat asked them. Oh, they said, we went to Uncle Goat's and had a nice little bite to eat. Then the goat family went back to their home, and lived happily ever after. The moral of the story is, if you're a kid, obey your parents. If you're a wolf, don't kid around with the mama because you might get the sharp end of the deal. Now, obviously, that's a very loose paraphrase of this story. But in your book B, the red one, you will see the answers to this section. And obviously you could just look for those answers, but in this lesson, I'm going to walk you through to see how we do this, okay? And in future lessons, I may let you do that on your own. We'll see, because you can get the answers from the answer key. So these are audio recorded, and you can listen to the Kurdish voice, which is obviously better than mine. But in the meantime, since I'm the only one on this call right now, I'm going to read it to you. Just this one little section. The part that says, "Go away, you are not our mother. We're not going to open the door for you because our mother's voice is pretty and light, and yours is rough and heavy. Go away, you're not our mother. Our mama is white, and you are black." So it goes like this. Hara, tuna dekame. Am dergehi buta novakin. Cinco dange dekama khusha. Zrava, udangeta bura. Hara, tuna dekame. Dekama spia uturashi. In part 2, it says to circle the 7 to be verbs in the text above. Remember that the verb usually comes last in a phrase or sentence. The first 2 have been done for you. Now, where do we get the be verbs? Okay, you can page back in your book to page 10, where we talk about the irregular verb to be. There it is on page 10, this section right here. So we're going to be looking for these verbs. These are the verbs. And just a reminder, when you have a subject, and then you have an adjective or a noun or something, then you have your verb. Your verb, you know which verb to choose based on the word that comes before it. If it ends in a consonant, you use the first verb. If it ends in a vowel, you use the second verb. Okay, back to our story on page 12. 13 rather. At the top of the page we see, look at the Latin script. The Kurdish script is for your teacher to read to you. So I'm starting right here. Hara, tuna dekamei. So we circled this I with a hat because that is the verb are. Here's our subject. To, you are. To na dekame. And I circled just the verb in Kurdish and just the verb in English. And we use the I with a hat as the verb in Kurdish because to is the subject. Now let's look at the next sentence. Dergehi buta novakin. Here, is our subject. So we're going to look for, this is not the verb is. Okay, so we're not going to go there. Let's go on. Cinco dange deka mahusha. Okay, so this is in the English because our mother's voice is pretty and light. And the verb in English is is. The subject is mother's voice. So I'm just going to circle. So voice of mother of us. And we'll get to that later as to what that all looks like, but that's what the subject is. And then is. And the adjective is zirav. And zirav in Kurdish means pretty and light in English. Okay, what's the next one? How about this next phrase? Dangeta bura. Okay, so yours in English, your voice is, there's our verb, rough and heavy. Okay, so let's just circle the verb in this phrase. It's right there. That's the verb. Remember, the verb comes at the end of the sentence or the phrase. Okay, so there's your third answer. Now let's go on to the next phrase. So in English, go away, you're not our mother. Okay, so in this sentence, here's our verb. You are, you're. Okay, so we'll find our subject, to, and then the matching verb, e, just like above. You are. And then the next phrase, de coma spia. Our mama is white. That's the next phrase we're working with. The subject is our mama or de coma. The adjective is spi and the verb is ya. This is. And the last phrase, tu rashi. You are black. Okay, so again, you is our subject, tu is the subject, and then we have to have the matching verb, and e is the matching verb. So you can see all of these in the answer key and in the Dehookie answer key. You have them there. Same with the Zachary. Okay, now we're going to go and look at part 3. Part 3 says put a box around the 2 negators in the text above. The negator, na, usually comes after the subject in a to be sentence. All right, so here we're back at our text. Here's the first negator, to, na dekamai. You are not our mother. Now, the next sentence does have a negator in English, but it's connected to a verb that's not the to be verb. We are not going to open the door. We're not working with that verb today, okay? We're just working with the to be verb. So not, you are not our mother. And then again, down below where it says again, you're not our mother, right below it. It's the second negator. All right. What does part 4 say? Part 4 says, underline the 7 phrases and adjectives in the text in the object position, which come before the to be verb. Then write them below with their English meanings. The first 2 have been done for you. So the first one is de gama, our mother. The second one is khush, pretty. Okay, so we're looking for the 7 phrases that have adjectives in them. So here we go. Dekoma, that's the first one. And what's the adjective or pronoun? Ma. The next one. Dange dekoma husha. And hush is the adjective. So it means pretty and light. Or it means pretty, sorry, just pretty. And then zdrav means light. Bur means rough and heavy. And then our mother. So here's dekoma for the second time. And then spi, white, and rush, black. And again, you can find these answers in the answer key for in your red book. Okay, that's how you do the grammar section for all of these verbs, all of these lessons. Now, this word list here goes with the story. So if you need a little help with what the meanings are, you can look right there. And it's not a bad idea to memorize some of these phrases. Some of them you're not going to understand. Why is our mother like this? We haven't done that yet. We'll get around to that. We're taking this language learning in baby steps. So, and you'll say, like, why does this mean we won't open it? We'll get to that. But let's take it in baby steps, one thing at a time. We're building a strong foundation. And when you do things in the order that I've presented it, it will be really helpful to you. Now on page 14, we have what's called the Conversations and Storytelling Conversation Game. And I had hoped that somebody else would be on this call, but nobody else is on the call, probably because it's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all of you out there that are mothers. So I'll just show you how this works. You need to do this with your language helper and or with another friend. So it's an open book thing. You start here where it says start, and one of you answers this first question. So for example, which language are you studying? So if the question is asked in English, you can answer it in English. And the language you're studying is Behdini Kurdish. And you could ask the next question, what's the dialect? And you can answer either Zahuli dialect or Dahuki dialect. Now, the next one of you answers the next question. Say the direct case pronouns and point to people as you do so to illustrate them. Okay, I'm going to show you the answer in the Dahuki book. And this is on page 2. So it's on page 2. So the direct case pronouns are us, and I point to myself. Du, I point to you. Ao, I point to a man or a picture of a man. Ao, I point to a girl, a picture of a girl. I point to us. Keen, I point to all y'all. Ow, I point to them over there. Now I go back to the first person, or if you have 3 people, go on to the next person. Say the sounds of the alphabet in the left column on page 3. All right, let's go back to page 3. I'm looking at the Dehookie book, but it's the same in the Sakali book. So the sounds of the alphabet are A, B, J, Ch, D, A, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, Q, R, R, S, Sh, T, U, V, W, Y, Z, Sorry, that didn't turn out very well, person. All right, then go on to the next person. How do you say this to your language helper? Write it in Kurdish script for me. Now you're going to say this in Kurdish. So you have to go to page 3, and there it is at the bottom. Write it in Kurdish script for me. So you can listen to the audio recordings, or you can listen to me right here. Harfet Kurdi Bumin bin Visa. To the next one. What does this mean in English? And you answer in English. Navetachia. If you don't know, look at page 4. Navetachia means, what's your name? Okay, then you go to the next one. Respond to this. Chawani Bashi. So you look for that on page 4. You find Chawani Bashi. Here's Chawani. Let's see if we can find Chawani Bashi. Here we go. Chawani Bashi. Now what do I say in response to that? I say, Basham. I'm fine. Now we go up. Say your name in the blank. Nave min, a, or ya. Page 4. So go to the top of that page. And you can read the footnote number 2 to be reminded. Do you use the a or do you use the ya? My name is Shadeen. My Kurdish name is Shadeen. So I'm going to use a because Shadeen ends with a consonant sound. Nave min Shadina. What does this mean in English? Pei khush halam. You look at page 4. Where's Pei khush halam? Find it. There it is. Pei khush halam means it's nice to meet you. What is key in Kurdish? Page 7. Okay, so you go to page 7. And you find key. There it is under question words. Key means who in the direct case. Say the sounds of the alphabet in the middle column on page 3. Oh, I think I did everything. I did the left column and the middle column, so I'm not going to do it again. All right. How do you make an adjective? Example, bachik, or small. How do you make an adjective into a comparative adjective, such as smaller? All right, let's look on page 6 and page 9. Page 6 with an example. adjective examples are right here. And on page 9, it gives us the instructions on how to do that. The instructions are right here. So what's my question again? How do I make it into a comparative adjective? Well, on page 9 tells me that I add TIR to the adjective. So if Bosch is my adjective, I add TIR to make Boschted. Or if Bachik is my adjective, I add TIR to make Bachikted. How do you say yes in Kurdish? Page 7. Again, this is just a vocabulary thing. Go back to page 7. Find your vocabulary, yes and no. There it is at the bottom of the page. So yes, you can say ballet, or you can say a or are. What does this mean in English? Ahlan wa sahlan. All right, pages 4 and 7. Go back to page 4 or 7. Ahlan wa sahlan. I see it here at the bottom of the page. I see it down there. Ahlan wa sahlan means, well, in this case, we use it to mean it's nice to meet you or nice to meet you too. How do you say no in Kurdish? Page 7. Okay, no. No. What are the to be verb conjugations for these pronouns? Us, do, and ow. So we look at page 10. And this is the Dahuki book that I'm looking at right here. The Zakhali book has it in the same location. So us, or ma, to, yi, ow, or ya. Say the sounds of the alphabet in the right column. Okay, I already did that. I'm not going to do it again. What does this mean in English? Aji pe khush halam. Page 4. There we go. Aji pe khush halam. Nice to meet you too. What does shmin mean in this sentence? Tu shmin zirektiri. Look at page 9. So here we see it here, shmin, than me. There we have it again here, to shmin, than me. We have it again here, than me. What are the to be verb conjugations for these pronouns? Hin, ow. Page 10. So again, you go to page 10. In or na. Hin, in or na. Ow, in or na. How do you say okay in Kurdish? Page 7. So you're going to look at page 7. Okay. Here it is down at the bottom, key phrases. Below. Okay. What does this mean in English? To ziraki. Go to page 6. To ziraki. Here it is at the bottom. To ziraki. You're smart. And finally, how do you make an adjective, bachik, into a superlative adjective? To say the smallest. So again, you look at page 9. And you'll get your answer right here. You can either add tirin to the adjective, or the more common thing is to use it in a phrase like this. Aush hamia bachiktira, or aush hamia ziraktira. Bachiktira is what we're looking for here. So bachiktirin or bachiktira, aush hamia bachiktira. And that's how you do this conversation section. Next, we're going to work on storytelling.